On the news, panic as Ebonyi State's government shuts down hospital over Lassa fever outbreak. 11 suspected to be Nigerians killed in new ISWAP execution video. And Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu secures leadership of ruling Likud party. Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi has directed the immediate closure of a hospital where patients are being treated for Lassa fever. This comes after the suspected outbreak of Lassa fever in Igbaju community in Iziliko government area of Ebonyi State. There, however, has been no confirmed reports on how many people are suspected to have been affected by the disease. According to a statement by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Media, Francis Nweze, Umahi also directed that all family members and close relatives of the hospital be quarantined at the Southeast Virology Center, Abakaliki, for comprehensive medical examination. The governor also ordered staff and patients of the hospital to submit themselves to the Virology Center at Abakaliki for medical examination. Umahi assured the residents that the state government, through its Ministry of Health, would contain the spread of the disease and urged the public not to panic. The Islamic State group has released a new video where it claimed to have executed 11 Nigerian captives. In the video released on December 26th, the captives, all men, were executed in an unidentified outdoor area, with 10 beheaded and 1 shot at close range. The group says the execution is part of its campaign to avenge the October deaths of its leader and spokesman in Syria. No details were given about the victims, who were all male, but IS says they were captured in the past weeks in Nigeria's northeastern Borno state. IS's late leader and spokesman Abubakar al-Baghdadi and Abdul Hassan al-Muhaji were killed in Syria in late October. Nearly 2 months later, on December 22nd, the group, which is closely affiliated with Boko Haram, declared a new militant campaign to avenge the death of their slain leaders and have since claimed a flurry of attacks in various countries under the banner of that campaign. Meanwhile, Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar has called on troops of the air component of Operation Lafia Dole to redouble efforts to completely rid the northeast of terrorists so as to restore total peace in the region. Abubakar, who was represented by the Air Task Force Commander, Air Commodore Precious Amadi, made the remarks while addressing troops in Yola, the Adamawa state capital. While appreciating efforts of the troops, he said the military remains committed in the fight against insurgency, especially with the support and enabling environment provided by President Muhammadu Buhari. The air chief also implored the troops to remain committed to the objectives of the operations. And now to politics. Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki says the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, remains suspended from the state chapter of the APC. Obaseki disclosed this on Friday during a caucus meeting involving leaders of the APC in Edo North Senatorial District. He lamented that Oshiomhole, who is his predecessor, has been a negative influence in the affairs of the state in spite of efforts by the party to bring economic development to the people. Obaseki said, quote, "My position is clear. Comrade Oshiomhole stands suspended from the APC in Edo State," end of quote. Obaseki further explains that Oshiomhole's suspension is in the best interest of the people and members of the party in Edo State. Still on politics, the People's Democratic Party says it will soon reveal plans for choosing its presidential candidate for the 2023 general elections. Chairman of the party's Board of Trustees, Walid Jibrin, made this known at a press conference in Kaduna State on Thursday. The party, which ruled for 16 years, had lost power in 2015 when incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari of the All Progressives Congress defeated former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Buhari also defeated Atiku Abubakar, PDP's candidate, during the 2019 presidential polls. Responding to questions from journalists at the press conference, Jibrin said the National Working Committee will consult other organs of the PDP in revealing the plans for the party's presidential candidate. He said although the PDP would choose its candidate from any of the zones, the focus at the moment is to unite the party to make it stronger ahead of the polls. They urged PDP members to respect the dignity and consider the rules of the party as supreme. The federal government did not order the release of Ibrahim Rasheed, leader of the proscribed Islamic movement in Nigeria, simply because his case has been handled by the Kaduna State government. Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, revealed this in a statement by his spokesman. He said the federal government does not interfere with cases that have been prosecuted by state government. With the recent release of Sambo Dasuki, former security advisor and pro-democracy activist Omoyele Sowore, Nigerians have begun to question the continued detention of Rasheed, despite various court orders for his release. Rasheed and his wife Zinat have been in DSS custody since 2015. They stand in trial before the Kaduna State High Court on charges bordering on culpable homicide, unlawful assembly, and disruption of public peace, among others. And now to education. The Nigerian government has denied claims that Nigeria's Humanitarian Affairs Minister, Sidia Umar Farouk, withheld funds for the school feeding program in Lagos, Imo, Kogi, and Benue State. The federal government said this in response to claims that Farouk had deliberately refused to approve payments for the National Homegrown School Feeding Program for Lagos, Imo, Kogi, and Benue. President Muhammadu Buhari's senior special assistant on social investment, Ismail Ahmed, said in a statement that the delay in funding for the feeding program was as a result of, quote, necessary civil service procedures from the Budget and National Planning Ministry that was overseeing the program. Buhari on Tuesday, October 1st, moved the NSIPS to the newly created Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development Ministry with the aim of institutionalizing them. Since the institutionalization, the government has been inconsistent in funding some of its programs, including Empower. Aviation security operatives of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, have arrested a 25-year-old man as he attempted to climb a moving Air Peace aircraft heading to Owerri at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, MMIA, Lagos. Air Peace spokesman Stanley Olisa, who confirmed the development, explained that the pilot of a private jet just behind the aircraft had informed the Air Peace pilot in command that a young man was trying to force his way onto the aircraft. Olisa stated that AFSEC quickly deployed guards to stop him from manning the taxiing aircraft when they spotted him, but he resisted arrest until they called for reinforcement. They also alerted the pilot to delay the craft to allow them apprehend the intruder. Managing Director of FAN, Captain Rabiu Hamisu, confirmed that the man has been arrested and taken into custody for investigations. The aircraft was also advised to return to base for necessary safety and security inspections in line with standard procedure. Afterwards, the aircraft departed Lagos at 10:16 a.m. with 171 passengers and 6 crew members aboard. Less than 24 days after the Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun presented the 2020 budget proposal of 449.97 billion naira to the State House of Assembly, the Ogun State Assembly has passed the 2020 appropriation bill into law. At plenary on Friday, presided over by Speaker Olakunle Oluomo at the Assembly Complex Abeokuta, Olakunle Shobunkola presented the report of the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation and moved the motion for the adoption, and it was unanimously supported by all the lawmakers through a voice vote. Passing the bill into law, Oluomo commended his colleague lawmakers and staff of the Assembly for timely passing the bill. He described the prompt passage of the appropriation bill as a Christmas gift and a New Year gift to the people of Ogun State. Oluomo also directed that the clean copy of the bill be transmitted to the governor for his assent. On the 3rd of December 2019, Governor Abiodun had presented the budget proposal of 449.974 billion naira for the next fiscal year before members of the Ogun State House of Assembly. In this season to love and share, an NGO, the Drive Foundation, has taken to slums in Lagos to show love to the less privileged in the society. They went to Gidi community, Lekki, bearing gifts of food and clothing and impacted lives by sharing and caring. This next report tells us more. There's no religious or government backing behind this, just a group of 7 friends who came out to say they were going to make Christmas a meaningful experience for over 100 persons in Gidi community on Lagos Island. And trust me, people have received gift donation in terms of food items, water, toiletries, just to make sure that their body and soul is kept intact, and they're having food items to sustain themselves throughout the Christmas season. It's all about sharing, and these people are out to show love. Kids of Gede community, Lekki, queue for a pack of delicious smoothie. For most of them, it would be their first time knowing what smoothie tastes like. Their parents are not left out. They received gifts of food items and toiletries, and when it came to clothing and shoes, they were all invited to shop for free. The brain behind this charity initiative is serial entrepreneur Gabrielle Opara. She says she founded the Drive Foundation in 2018 after a divine inspiration to spread love to the less privileged.
We first did it in a new ghetto and people were happy. So I felt me and my family should do it again this year to see what it's going to be about. But it turned out successfully this year. This year is way bigger, trust me. We did it from a car last year, my friend's car. That was where we shared the food, and it was just food, nothing. But this year we had water, we had Dettol, we had a lot of things come true. A few friends donated, my friends donated. It's bigger this year, and it will be bigger next year.
Benefactors could not hide their joy as they showered praises and prayers to Gabrielle and her team.
I'm happy to collect this thing for today because last year I don't see this thing because I know they here next year, last year. But I thank God we are there here today. I say Merry Christmas for all of us, all of them. More God bless everybody, more reach next year.
I even saw it like church member, but I didn't know that it's a friend. So I appreciate you people for doing it. God will continue to protect you people.
Ìyàlẹ́nu ló jẹ́ fún wa o. Ìyàlẹ́nu ló jẹ́ fún wa. Torí wọ́n try fún wa gidigidi. Wọ́n try. So I'm so happy.
Popular actor Michael Uba is a partner at the Drive. He commends Gabrielle for her charity and called on others to share love this Christmas season.
You don't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire before you can help some other people. And I believe some people have been blessed, even if it's just with a job, you earn some kind of salary or whatever, you can help the other people who may not be as privileged as you are. Okay, and so that's the reason why, for me, first, aside from it being a family thing, we are friends turned family, and this is something that I personally encourage. So, yeah, that's the reason why we are all out here, to also make sure we support her at the same time, to make sure that we do something humanitarian, just to be a blessing to people.
Gabrielle sees her foundation growing bigger than what it is. She aims to reach out to more people by building an empowerment center where she wouldn't just give fish, but would teach others to fish for themselves. Aneta Felix, TV360, Nigeria. Civil servants at the Federal Capital Territory have resumed work after 2 days away to mark the Christmas celebration. The federal government had declared Wednesday and Thursday as public holiday, with workers expected to return to their respective offices on Friday. But TV360's Tunji Oye, who monitored resumption of workers at the Federal Secretariat, reports turnout was quite low.
As early as 8:30 in the morning, civil servants resumed work after 2 days break, but the turnout was extremely low. The long stretch of Ahmadu Bello way through the Federal Secretariat was relatively scanty, an indication that many are still in holiday mood. For about 3 days now, Abuja City Center has been a ghost of itself. Many who work and do business here have traveled to their various states for the Christmas and New Year celebration.
Everywhere looks very, very scanty. You get me? And I believe that majority of people, some of them have traveled for Christmas and merriment. And that is why you look, you see things that happen like this. If not be Christmas, this place is a busy place. You get me? It's a busy place. And when you come for this newspaper stand, you will see people crowd and with a different motion and ideology.
Abuja is just a trading spot. You come, then at a time when not necessary, you go out. Many people that come here now, many don't have home. Either they come stay in a hotel, and now festival has come, nothing happening again, then they have to go home. When the new season comes, you see them come rushing back again.
Business activities around the Federal Secretariat, which used to boom on a daily basis, is now comatose as few traders can be seen with their goods. It is expected that full action will return to Federal Secretariat in January 2020. From Abuja, Sunjioye, TV360 News.
You're still watching news now on TV360 Nigeria. We'll be right back shortly.
That was a very good business. Yeah. The furniture you brought was very perfect.
That's how we roll.
Because let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much of it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I don't do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for one that understand business.
Take.
Your loss.
It is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
you will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people, make una only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
You're welcome back. We're now joined by Fidelia Aguncha for the latest business stories.
Well, thank you very much, Annetta. As 2019 draws to a close, some financial analysts have been reviewing the country's economic performance all year round. Managing Director of Cowrie Assets Management Limited, Johnson Chukwu, has been given a detailed assessment of major macroeconomic indicators. In all, Chukwu says there was a marginal improvement in the economy compared to that of 2018.
If you want to disaggregate the economic performance and look at the major macroeconomic indicators, you look at, I've just mentioned the issue of GDP growth rate. You look at exchange rate. We've seen a stable exchange rate over the past 1 year or thereabouts. In fact, we saw some level of appreciation of the naira on some of the segments of the market. Again, if you look at the inflation rates, though inflation has started moving up again, but compared to where we started the year, inflation has actually moderated. If you compare current inflation rate of 11.85% to what it was in January this year, or even compared to last year's figures of in the region of 15%. Then if you look at the interest rate in the market, we've seen a moderation in interest rate. We've seen an improvement in available credit in the credit market. So these are positive indicators that, and then if you look at the Purchasing Managers Index, we've also seen the Purchasing Managers Index trending towards 60, which is indication of an optimistic economic outlook by business operators. So these are factors, if you look at them, you say, like, 2019, it's a better year economically compared to 2018, though the performance of the economy in 2019 has not led to an improvement in the level of poverty. Unfortunately, because the economy is still growing at below the population growth rate, we are still witnessing an increase in the number of Nigerians living in abject poverty. So those are the challenges you have to contend with.
The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, has projected a high cost of doing business in 2020. Director General of the industry, Muda Yusuf, made a projection at the LCCI 2019 Economic Review and Outlook for 2020. He attributed the projected high cost to poor infrastructure, multiplicity of levies, excessive regulation, among others. Yusuf noted that while the nation may have recorded improvement in the ease of doing business ranking due to some recent policy measures, realities on ground would continue to differ if the highlighted challenges were not properly addressed. He added that the performance of the trade sector in 2020 would be shaped by the direction of government policies. The decline in foreign exchange reserve, which dipped by 39.2 billion naira, is threatening the naira, business analysts are reporting. A member of the Central Bank of Nigeria Monetary Policy Committee, Adeola Adenikinju, who observed the new trend, warned that unless certain conditions are addressed, the national currency will be in trouble. In a statement to the CBN on the MPC meeting, Adenikinju, who is a research professor at the Center for Econometrics and Allied Research, University of Ibadan, said the fall in foreign reserves and deterioration of current account balances are red signals indicative of difficult time ahead for the naira. Market data show that the naira depreciated at the investors and exporters window by 0.49% to close at 363.49 naira a dollar from 361.7 naira per dollar, but the currency was exchanged at 306.95 naira per dollar in the official market. Meanwhile, gross external reserve declined further by 1.16% to $39.24 billion from $39.7 billion at the beginning of the month. For 2 years, the naira exchange rate against the dollar and other currencies have been stable. Shareholders of Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Limited have finally decided to expand its multi-billion-dollar Train 7 gas project in a bid to increase its production by 35% and its competitiveness in the global LNG market. The final investment decision was announced by the NLNG on Friday, it has been delayed for 12 years. It's expected to increase from 22 metric tons per annum to 30 metric tons per annum. NLNG is jointly owned by 4 shareholders, namely the federal government, represented by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) with 49%, Shell with 25.6%, Total with 15%, and ENI International with 10.4%. Speaking on Friday during the special board meeting where shareholders took the final investment decision, the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Meli Kyari, stressed that the FID will generate $20 billion net revenue to the federal government, while also providing at least 50,000 direct and indirect jobs in the country. Up next is a review of activities on the stock market after this break. The Christmas break brought an end to the activities of bargain hunters, which has been pulling down the Nigerian Stock Exchange since the start of trading this week. Just between Monday and Tuesday, the market dropped by 2.04%, but after 2 days of inactivity, the NSE got back its footing to surge by 1.25%. Nestle Nigeria was the choice of investors today, garnering a total of 130 naira to lead a pack of 24 gainers. Now, with this boost, the value of one Nestle stock now stands at 1,430 naira. It was also a productive day for Stanbic IBTC Nigeria, whose value closed 7.14% higher, which is the biggest in more than 2 weeks. And the consumer index was the best performing sector today, posting a gain of nearly 5%. But it wasn't all good news for equities in the sector, as Guinness Nigeria leads the pack of 9 losers. Unilever also sits on the losers chart, dropping by 0.16%. Well, let's now move to the summary chart. We can see that over 222 million shares valued at about 3 billion naira exchange hands in 2,540 deals. Well, outside Nigeria, the FTSE is rising for the 11th consecutive session, nearing a 3-month high with a 0.17% rise. The Dow Jones is also closing the week positive, pushed up by blue chip stocks like Boeing, Apple, and Amazon, all of which led the gainers chart. The tide, however, went in the opposite direction for Nikkei, whose share value plunged by 87 basis points. That's in its all-share index at the end of closing today. All that is from the world of business. It's back to Aneta.
And now to the foreign scene. Embattled Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has won a leadership primary on Friday that ensures he will lead his right-wing Likud party until next year's general election. Israel's longest-serving premier, who faces a corruption indictment and a third general election in 12 months, was expected to beat rival Gideon Saar, but the convincing margin of victory strengthened his position in the party he has dominated for 20 years. With all votes counted, the Likud announced that Netanyahu had secured 72.5%, with Saar winning 27.5%. In a broadcast statement, Saar congratulated Netanyahu for his victory and said he would support him and the Likud party in the upcoming national elections. Netanyahu failed twice to form a coalition after the last two national elections, but the primary results mean he will stay in office at least until March 2nd, when Israel will hold a new round of national talk. Young footballers have been advised not to fall victims of human traffickers who parade themselves as agents while promising opportunities to play in top European clubs. The Migrant Projects gave this charge at a female football competition held in the Agege area of Lagos. The group also urged the players to seek information from the right sources when aspiring to embark on journeys abroad.
By our research, we realized that footballers and sport people are vulnerable to the cause of irregular migration and human trafficking. We realized that agents as well as smugglers will come and tell them, I will take you to Europe to go and play in a club, and then they just take them away. And all of the struggles and risks and dangers of irregular migration are what they face. Why we're targeting female this time is because women, female in general, they are vulnerable to the risk of irregular migration. And we also know that they are custodians of community and the society as a whole. If you have one woman, she can speak to our brother, she can speak to other females, and so we're actually getting all gender involved in the information about irregular migration. We've also had cases where we also spoke with male players, giving them the information about the risk and the realities of irregular migration. So this is just one way of spreading the message to not just the male, but also to female.
When a footballer wants to play on an international scale, the person is required to have gone abroad, to have played before joining even the national team. So that is actually a requirement. So we are bringing this message to them so they would be careful of smugglers, traffickers, or even these agents that come in form of smugglers or traffickers to lure them out of the country.
And that's it on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.